Let's go. Let's go. I'm so excited to start this live stream with you tonight because this is something that Haley and I have been working on for you. And we are both novices at this. Now, obviously, there's a lot we're going to get to tonight. We have the big NFL draft live stream on Thursday. Should the Bengals actually select Jamar Chase? Also, a lot of you have asked me questions about Kim Mulkey. And I know this is an LSU football channel, but a little bit later in the chat, I'll be happy to discuss what I think about Kim Mulkey, because obviously this is, of course, an LSU football channel. And obviously, a little bit earlier, we did a video today discussing the outside factors involving Myles Brennan, Max Johnson, TJ Finley, and Garrett Nussmeier. And I honestly believe this quarterback battle is down to just two people. And that, of course, is Max Johnson and Myles Brennan. But before we get into that, plus some recruiting, I had a very interesting conversation last night for about an hour with a 2022 prospect that I didn't think I was going to have. So that's all coming up. But to start today's live stream, you guys have been asking about it. We have our first Power Hour merch opportunity. What do you guys think about this shirt? I'll move the microphone for right now. I've never designed a shirt in my life, and I decided to design this one. I can't even see what you guys are even saying about it. What do you guys think? I mean, does this shirt excite you? The first ever Power Hour LSU shirt. Let's go. Give it to me right now. Okay. I don't think you guys are too excited about it. Kidding. I know you guys are burrowing with joy. So Branson, right off the start, says, first live I've been to in a while. And I'm actually happy you're here, Branson, because you're actually familiar with some of the class of 2022 personally, including our guy, Jacoby freaking Matthews. Let's go. So if you want to buy a shirt, there you go. That's the link. And the way it works with this site, I need to sell a certain amount of shirts by May of... I'd have to ask Haley. We were trying to figure it out, and I didn't think selling shirts would be this complicated, but I think I need to sell a certain amount of shirts for them to actually ship it out at the price that it's set at. And I think it is set at $29.99. So there you go. You can get the first ever Power Hour LSU merch. Kane, come on. This is top-notch design. And this is actually a quality shirt right here. So what we're going to do is I haven't put it on. So Haley will put it on and model it for you in just a second. And Haley said we worked really hard on it. We actually did on the design. I was going back and forth with like different fonts. And this was, the best I could do because I'm not the best designer in the world, but I hope you enjoy the shirt. And so there you go. You can get your own shirt. What's up, Paris? What's up, Saucy? What's up, Corey? Kane, you would. I love how Kane just likes to pick on me all the time. Kane, you pick on. I know. What's funny is, I spent so much time. I kept trying to use Teespring, and I love Teespring. I love their interface. It just there was a holdup in the final portion of me doing Teespring, so I decided to go with Bonfire. Jawan, yeah, you got to pay for premium, baby. And there will be more merch down the road, but this is my first offering just to see how it works. It's so weird because I did stand up for so long, and every comedian had merch except for me. And I guess I just wasn't comfortable enough in our own brand. That's the buzzword, brand. and I guess I just never made shirts. So this is my first ever merch ever in anything, comedy or any other project. So if you want to support, go on ahead, buy you a shirt. And I think I have 10 days to sell 50 shirts so we can all mail them out at the same time. I think how it works. And look, if Bonfire's not the right thing, we'll move to another one. So we'll see. What's up, Ahmad? How you doing, man? So once again, click on that link right there if you want yourself a Power Hour LSU shirt. And what's going to happen is Haley's going to put this on, and she will. Did you? I asked you if you do it. No, you don't have to do it now. Do it later. Someone just supported your campaign. What? Someone just bought a shirt. Who bought that shirt right off the start? Was that Kane? Was that Kane that bought our first ever shirt? You know what, Kane? If you actually know something about this, Kane, please help me out.
Yeah.
I decided to go Bonfire because they had the simplest thing. Here's the thing. I wanted to actually get a shirt delivered. And the problem with Teespring was they could not.
He sure did get a fresh cut.
I know. I needed a Juwan. Mr. G was the first person.
Nice.
Mr. G, he already ordered two. He already ordered 2 shirts. Thank you so much, Mr. G. And here's the thing. This is one thing I'm getting a lot of. Well, are you going to put a shirt? So many of you want shirts with Boog on it. That's going to go down the road. Okay. This was designed before Boog's sudden passing. So we're going to have different designs. So if for some reason you just don't like this one, we will do something down the road. I don't want to mislead you, but so far this is the only one. It's simple. It's the Let's Go. Thank you, Hallie. Let's go. So now change of production out of the way. Haley will put the shirt on probably here in about 20 or 30 minutes of cooking up some swordfish. Shout out to you, Al. Al was making swordfish jokes before. And isn't Swordfish the name of that movie with John Travolta and Halle Berry? Isn't that it? Ahmad said he'll be my editor. There you go. So here's what we'll do. Okay, so we had the Myles, Brennan, and Max Johnson discussion earlier. And my next film study project is the Elias Ricks film study project. I'm currently going through different tape to figure out the angle I want to go through with the Elias Ricks film study. So that's coming up because it's interesting that he could be the best player on the team, but he could not practice at all during spring because of his injury. So I want to determine what is the best way to use Elias Ricks, because obviously, Dwight McGlothern played so freaking well in the spring game, and he got a lot of valuable experience against Florida and Ole Miss. You got to put him on the field somewhere if he is a long, rangy corner. And look, Dwight McGlothern would probably be the best corner on 70% of football teams, like right now. So it's a weird dilemma that LSU's in, because we know what they're going to look like on the defensive line. We have a good idea of what the secondary is going to look like. And the linebackers, ironically, the guys that'll probably play the most at that position didn't even play spring at all. So we'll see what happens with that position. So I'm obviously super excited about what LSU is going to do there. So we have a huge Elias Ricks. We have a huge Elias Ricks film study coming up. And as you guys know, I take the film studies very seriously because they do a long time. If you knew how much time was put into that that film study on the weekend, you would be shocked. 2 hours of film, and so that will be coming up on the channel. And then obviously on Thursday we will do the NFL draft live chat. I don't know exactly how we're going to go about doing it. One thing that I find interesting about the NFL draft is when I do LSU NFL content, it never does well. It never does well. I did that Jabril Cox video to see what you guys thought about NFL draft content. And every time I do NFL related stuff with LSU players, it never does well. So I'm interested on how the Thursday night live chat's going to go. And once again, I have to stress this enough. We will not have a live chat Saturday night at 7 p.m. Central. There will be no live chat Saturday night at 7 p.m. Central. We are moving it to Thursday night for the NFL draft. And once again, the reason why the Saturday night live chat is not happening is because I have a booking that I'll be doing. And I shared this before. I'm always transparent with you guys. You know, when I take dates and when I do, you know, whatever, a private event, which is what's happening on Saturday night, you know, it's got to be at, you know, a pretty good price for me to miss out on this, because this is by far my favorite thing to do in all of my career are live chats. It's by far my favorite thing. I like it more than, you know, producing videos or podcasts, because I get to interact with you guys, your comments, your super chats, all that good stuff. And it just makes for fun, lively discussion. Let's see. Josh says, how's the new house coming along? We are slowly building, Josh. Thank you so much for that. Obviously, you know, whenever you're moving somewhere new, there's, you know, some growing pains. But I'm glad you asked, Josh. Everything's going good. Everything's going good. Let's see. Elias Ricks would be an awesome breakdown, one of our best players on the team. And here's the thing, Howie, with the let's go to Trace here. Idea for sub interaction. Y'all set basic parameters, have viewers submit designs, and select a few for viewers to vote on. Put that on a shirt. Okay, Trey, I kind of like that. Let me write that down. I like Trey. You're kind of smart for an anthropology teacher. You're kind of smart, kinda. So, look, the first thing I want to discuss is the Myles Brennan and Max Johnson video from earlier today. And what I like to do is on our Tuesday videos, I like to do a follow-up here. And I think the most important thing when it comes to discussing those two players, the first question you need to ask is, are there any outside factors, which was the point of the video earlier today? And I've heard you guys list upon a ton of very good outside factors. Now, here's the thing. In the video earlier today, I debunked all those outside factors. I disagreed. I don't think you should start Max Johnson over Myles Brennan simply because Max Johnson is younger. And I also don't think you should start Myles Brennan simply because you fear will go in transfer portal because he may or may not, you know, he would want to go play. And then, of course, the last one that we talked about was the leadership aspect of it, because Myles Brennan has so many fans in between the doors of that building. You know, I really do believe TJ and Max are loved by everyone there. And, you know, they went through everything that we all kind of went through as LSU fans, having a rough season, and that being a part of your true freshman campaign makes you a stronger player. So to me, the only outside factor, and this is the only outside factor I would consider if I was Jake Peetz when it comes to the when it comes to this quarterback battle, the number one thing that will affect this decision is the offensive line. And there's no other way around this. If the offensive line can't protect decent, I'm talking about decent, because right now, I'm not so sure if they can do that. Myles Brennan can't be your starter. Number one is, yes, it is time for us to acknowledge that pocket quarterbacks are kind of a thing of the past. Okay, that doesn't mean that you can't win with the pocket quarterback. It's just you got to have a lot of pieces around them to win with a pocket quarterback. And if we want, and I let this part out of the video, but Ben brought this up, and I think it was Ben Levy. If you want to be frank, if Ed Orgeron wants to recreate the 2019 LSU offense, well, for that to work, you have to have a mobile quarterback, because a big part of the 2019 LSU offense is Joe Burrow's ability to run. You can't have a 2019 LSU offense if your quarterback can't run. Now, you can have similar concepts to it, and the 2019 system and different ideas about it can also work with just a pocket quarterback. But if you want to recreate that offense, what made the 2019 offense unbeatable was that even if you defended everything well, even if you got penetration, even if when you got penetration, coverage was good on the back end, Joe Burrow would kill you with his legs. And all you have to do, and you really need to do this, watch the entire Auburn game and see how Joe Burrow's legs won LSU that game. Watch the Clemson game, and don't just watch Joe Burrow's long runs. Watch his ability to just avoid sacks. Clemson missed 2 or 3 sacks in that first half simply because Joe Burrow was able to evade them. And then, of course, the Alabama game, Joe Burrow was pressured a lot in that game, and it didn't matter. He was so good at that very thing, whereas Myles Brennan has zero escapability. And because of that, that's where the issues lie. And here's the thing. You can win with the pocket quarterback. You just got to have a really good offensive line, and LSU doesn't have it. Now, I understand the LSU pass protection had some good moments against the LSU defense, but once again, this was a spring game, and there was no blitzes, so the offensive line did not even need to have pre-snap communication. They just didn't. So when you factor all those different things in, you got to have a quarterback who can run. And Max Johnson, even though he is not a deadly runner, I don't even know if he's as good a runner as Joe Burrow. He does have that ability, and with that, it helps out your offensive line in a major way that a quarterback can keep a defensive line playing a little bit more conservatively. What's up, Bo? What's up, man? Now, Tremaine says there are some outside factors like the Brennan family holding heavyweight in South Louisiana. Interesting. Exactly, Reed. I agree. And if Myles Brennan had an elite offensive line, he would be fantastic, especially if LSU's wide receivers take the next step. Also, something else to keep in mind is one thing that would help out with a mobile quarterback is a running game. It's so much easier to run out of shotgun if your quarterback can pull it and run with it, and you have the zone read game. This with Max against Florida, showing how Max's ability to run just opened up little holes in the running game, and that helps out an LSU running back room that is really deep, but none of them, we haven't seen Goodwin or Kiner, but none of them are like special. They're not Fournette. They're not Hill. So if you have a mobile quarterback, that does open up some holes in the running game as well. Something else LSU can do to combat, and if you want Myles Brennan to be the quarterback, one thing that could help him out is by putting him under center. LSU's best run at the spring game was when TJ Finley went under center and TDP broke off a long run. So, that's something that I would consider if I was Jake Peets. What's up, team? What's up? I heard James Craig was learning concepts with the pro offensive line coaches right now. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on James Craig. Once again, if you're just joining us, Haley will be modeling our new merch. This is the first ever Power Hour LSU shirt right here. Leonard, that's a good phrase right there. Good wide receivers keep a quarterback in the news and well talked about, but the offensive line keeps him from the hospital. Ain't that the truth? And if you haven't already, please hit the like button. There we go. This feels like this is going to be a really nice, low-key live chat. I love it. I love it. Josh, that would be one of my dream sponsors. I knew Todd Graves in college. Not well. I mean, I would see him at different places and talk to him because I love Cane's. I really do. I really do love me some Raising Cane's chicken fingers. Trey, we'll see you Thursday night for the live chat. I appreciate you. Trey Beatty, man. I love that dude. Trey's one of Haley's favorite viewers. Branson says, I can't wait for that Elias Ricks breakdown. Stingley 19 versus 20 comparison would be cool to see about what went wrong. Yeah, Branson, this is also huge. What's up, Carl? Johnny says, I'm at the lake eating crawfish. Josh says, let's talk about Eric Gilbert. I'm going to stay away from Eric right now. He always finds a way. Tremaine says, Cane's is crap. Zaxby's. You know what? I like Zaxby's too. I just love chicken tenders. But as many of you know, I just love food in general. How does Max beat out Myles once and for all? Well, that's the thing. A lot of this is going to come down to what kind of offense Jake Peetz is going to want to run. Because if he wants to run an offense where zone reads a part of the game, then Max is going to be your guy. I'll tell you this, and you saw this on the film study, and I know this came against the second team defense, but the best drive, the most game-like drive of the day was Max Johnson's touchdown drive with the purple team, his second touchdown drive with the purple team. And he was phenomenal. He was absolutely phenomenal on that drive. The way he attacked the defenses from different angles. So we'll see. Max needs work on throwing the deep ball. And that's the thing, Johnny. It might not be in his arsenal. And it may not be. Like his arm is not special. And that's not a knock. It's just not special. But here's the thing. Joe Burrow's arm wasn't special. Drew Brees' arm wasn't special. Not everyone has a cannon, but you can work around that. And, something else, I think, going back and rewatching the spring game, I think Jake Peetz is trying to get the quarterbacks to drive the football down the field. Reed says it's not the whole offensive line, it's the right side. And move Austin Dekulus to right guard because he is not a tackle at the left tackle and start Garrett Dellinger or Dumerville and get Willie Allen. So, Reed, I'm a huge Marcus Dumerville fan. He's got all the raw tools. I loved watching his huddle tape at St. Thomas Aquinas, but his spring game was not good. And I know his dad's a fan of the channel. I think he would even he would agree with that. It was just not a good day for Dumerville, but I say that positively. I say that uplifting, and I also be a big-time all-SEC type of player. Now, is he Siren Black? Is he Andrew Whitworth good? I don't know if he's that good, but those guys are legends. But I think he could be a really solid player. I really do. I just, I was just shocked. I mean, with him coming out of high school, I thought for sure he'd be a starter in year 2, but that's not the case right now. And I'm a big fan of number 74. I really am. Does he need to get coached up? I don't know. I'm an LSU fan. Is Myles best for LSU? Let's see. I'm a huge Myles Brennan fan. Burrow does not have a deep ball. Yeah, it's not his strength. Just got home. As opposing defense, Max is more of a threat. Amacat, it just depends on what you're good at defensively. Because what you can do versus Max that you can't do versus Myles is you can creep your safeties up just a little bit, because Myles really does throw a great deep ball. And I know what a lot of people would say. Well, it's because he had Terrace Marshall. Yeah, it's true. Terrace was really next level when he played last season. But Jare Jenkins was also pretty good. And Myles connected with Jare a few times on deep passes. And the intermediate game was also there for Myles as well. And some of his intermediate throws were dropped. So, that's the thing. If Myles had protection, he could slice and dice guys up and down the field. It's just, it's not there. It's just not there. And you have to keep this in mind. I thought Dare Rosenthal had a really good spring game. I really do. I was really shocked. I think he got hurt a lot worse versus Mississippi State than what it was led on to be. And I think LSU didn't feel comfortable moving on to the backup offensive line. And I know Cam Wire stepped in for him a few times, but Dare fought through a lot. And he's had, off the field suspensions, but it looks as if he's fully locked in. He could be special. He really can. It's not the lack of talent. It's just not there right now. That is right, Bert Boy. Do you feel comfortable with Austin Dekulus blocking the blind side? Well, maybe. You look at the pass rushers in the SEC. I haven't gotten too deep into discussing defenses yet, but Alabama does have Will Anderson, who's special coming off the edge, and there's going to be some good pass rushers in the SEC this year. We'll see. Something else, if you are a Myles fan, something else that does change this conversation, though, and this was something we saw in the spring game film study. We saw the quarterbacks get help from the 5-man protection when the inside it was a running back and the tight ends would chip. So they would line up in the slot and they would chip the defensive ends, and that would obviously help out the offensive tackles who were struggling in the spring game. So it's, if you are a Myles fan, that's a good thing. It's just when you run that 5-man protection, what you saw in the spring game. And I think, honestly, out of everything that happened in the spring game, I think this is even a bigger deal than not being able to hit the quarterback. The bigger deal for me was we didn't see the LSU offensive line have to communicate. Because here's the thing, when you know that only 4 guys are rushing, you don't have to call out the Mike or the slot corner who might be coming on a blitz or whoever else. And as many of you know, you guys have been watching some of the other film studies. How often did you see unblocked A-gap blitzers just running untouched to Myles Brennan and teeing off? And you wonder why his ribs shredded into smithereens. What's up, E's Elite Sport Talk? I better expect some Elite Sports Talk from you, E. So there we go. Let's see. T-shirt announcement. We have a few sales already. Let me see. This gets me. Let me, if it tells me. And also, by the way, a T-shirt, I guess we will count as a super chat. All right. Randall and Byron, thank you so much for your T-shirt purchases. 48 more to go. We got to get 48 more in the next 10 days for the shirts to ship out. I think that's how it works. That RPO slant to Chase, yeah, that was a good throw. Going up against Henderson, too. Oh, That was a tight throw. It was after a long Clyde run. They were so good at that. And, so, MCAT, I'm glad you brought that up. It's also interesting because, that RPO to Chase, what made that so great was that same group of guys had so many game reps together. They had the 2018 game reps, and then up to that point, it was a well-oiled machine. LSU knew we're going to hurry up, and if they give Jamar one-on-one, I don't care if CJ Anderson is going to be a top 10 pick. We're going to throw it. And you can't do that unless you have cohesiveness. I know, Kane. I don't know how any of this works. I really don't. But I'm selling shirts, and you will eventually get a shirt if you buy it. Exactly, Calvin. At this point. So we'll see. So let me ask you this. And once again, Venmo, Cash App, all of that's open. Super Chat is wide open to whatever topic you want to talk about this evening. But, to Calvin's point here, you look at the LSU offensive line. One thing I think we should think about is, should we bench more than just one of them? Should we change up more than just one of those guys? I went back and I don't want to look at it anymore, but I decided to recheck some of the things I looked at in the spring game. One thing I'd be interested in seeing is, an offensive line like this. And let me know if you guys would be interested in this offensive line. Left tackle Dare, left guard Ingram, Liam at center, and then at right guard Bradford, and then at right tackle Cam Wire, and then bring Dekulus, off the bench and let him be the backup guard and tackle. Where, you have a very experienced guy who's played a lot of snaps, probably knows how to play all five of the positions. I think that would be something I'd be interested in. I thought Cam, I kind of like Cam at right tackle. I think, Cam Meyer obviously wasn't, special. He had some hiccups against Auburn, but, I like Cam, and I know he's a 3-star to Gonzalez. And, he's not as experienced as Austin Dekulus, but I would be interested in that front. I would. Big Al says, I think Peach will have the best lineman on the field as well. Yeah, and that's the thing, Big Al. Does Jake Peets go to Edwards, Ron, and James Craig and say, look, guys, I know I'm Ron and James Craig and say, look, guys, I know I'm here. This is how I think the offensive line should look. Cam Wire played really well when I look at it. Yeah, he's solid. Is he Evan Neal or Alex Leatherwood? Probably not, but he's pretty solid. I can't remember a time last season, where Cam Wire just went out there and just laid an egg. I just thought, considering the injuries, this was a guy who thought last season that maybe he was not going to play at all. And early on, he had to play. And he did well. He did really well. Let's see. We say hi to Graylin. We say hi to Big Al. We say hi to Reed. We say hi to Kelvin. We say hi to Kane. Emma Cat. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. I know, offensive line talk can get boring. I know quarterback talk can get boring. And we already did the video on this topic. But obviously, this seems to be what interests you the most. If you guys want to talk NFL draft, let me know, because this is obviously a very weird time as fans of the NFL draft, because we actually have Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. This is such a huge storyline for us as LSU fans. So yeah, we'll see. If you guys want, like I said, I'll wait till about 45 or an hour in. A lot of you have asked me my thoughts on Kim Mulkey. because this is a pretty, transformational thing, a pretty random thing, and a pretty rare thing that you'll never see. A 3-time national champion leaving the program to go to, another program. Does Jamar Chase go before Devonta Smith? Yeah, I think so. I think the bigger question, and this obviously is not LSU football related, but does Devonta Smith go before Jalen Waddle? Or now, here's something that I would find interesting. Does Terrace Marshall go before either one of those guys? How does Terrace Marshall work into this first round? Does he find a way to get into the first round? Because look, you look historically, wide receivers, more often than not, the best wide receivers are coming out of the first round. Amari Cooper, Julio Jones, Odell Beckham Jr., and that list goes on and on. But there's also quite a few second and third round wide receivers that turn out to be pretty daggum good, whether that be Michael Thomas or Jarvis Landry. So I think Terrace Marshall is in a situation where he could end up being the best LSU player in this draft. And if Terrace Marshall goes to a situation where he's going to Green Bay, that is going to be lights out. He is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Now, I know some of you don't like NFL draft. You only like to talk about the current, and we were talking about that a little bit earlier. This is the one simple thing you're going to want out of this NFL draft. Obviously, a lot of us want Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow to reunite. That is our bias speaking, okay? That is something that we would love to see because obviously that would allow us to relive 2019. Arguably the greatest quarterback and wide receiver connection in the history of the SEC is Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase, and, that would excite me. However, if the Bengals decide to go that route, I would be happy. But I'm going to be even happier because I like Jamar a lot. I think personally he's an excellent guy. The thing you should want as an LSU fan out of this draft is if Jamar Chase goes to the Lions, his career is over. It's over. That is a horrible, horrible franchise. But Carter, what about Calvin Johnson and Kenny Golladay and all the great receivers? That was with Matthew Stafford, not Jared Goff. And by the way, the head coach of the Lions is a run-first guy who says he wants to bite your kneecaps off. And by the way, the offensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions is Anthony Lynn, who was the worst head coach in the NFL last season with some of the worst coaching decisions I've ever seen. They ran the football so much when they had huge leads with Justin Herbert. So do you think it's going to get better when he's the offensive coordinator of Detroit? No, he's going to run that offense into the ground like he did with the Chargers. So you do not want Jamar Chase under any circumstance to go to the Lions. As long as he doesn't go to the Lions, I'm going to be in a good mood. But I'm going to tell you this right now. If Jamar Chase falls to the Lions, that's who they will select. And it will piss me off. All right. So if you do believe that, some pretty big news here. Now, this is freaking big. It's pretty freaking big. There is from Ian Rappaport, Hall of Fame running back Marshall Faulk and Southern University have mutual interest about Marshall Faulk becoming the head coach. Are you kidding me? From Ian Rappaport. We're talking about one of the most accurate big game reporters. Wow. And I know this is an LSU football chat, but I mean, this is Baton Rouge football. This is Southern. This is Marshall Faulk, Louisiana legend. Wow. Wow. Now, once again, it's not official, but that is a wild. Wow. And I grew up a big Marshall Faulk fan. He had a huge impact on me growing up. Are you serious? That is jaw to the floor type of stuff. And I know Eddie George just took the Tennessee State job, but goodness gracious, the greatest show on turf, Marshall Faulk. That's wild. That is wild. Man. I hate it when news that big drops. Now, once again, it's just a report. Nothing is official. But that is just, man. Who's to say a rookie offensive lineman is a safe pick? I'd rather have Chase. Yeah, I would too, Amacat, but still, I mean, Penei Sewell looks to be the real deal. And maybe there's a scenario where the Bengals select Sewell and then they can get Terrace Marshall or go get Racey McMath, but it's obviously not the same as Jamar. Let me see. That man Bless says, where does Jabril Cox land? I think it's a second-round pick. I don't think Jabril is going to slide into the first. I don't think a linebacker not named Micah Parsons will go early. Wait, what did Reed say? I'm interested. Dude, Marcel Brooks is moving to wide receiver. He should have never left LSU. Yeah, I don't know anything about Marcel Brooks, his situation now with TCU. But yeah, it did suck when he transferred. I would have liked to have seen him another year in the purple and gold. Wait, he said something about Lamar Jackson. Let me see. Okay, let me go here. Yeah, they already said T. Marshall go first round because the Ravens said they'll take him. I just don't want him in Baltimore because Lamar Jackson is overrated throwing the ball. He is Taysom Hill. This isn't a Lamar chat, but let me go to Blessed in Turkey. Are you still in Oklahoma right now? I wish Apu Ika had stayed. Yeah, Apu Ika was really good. Even in the 4-3 this season, he actually had some really good moments. LSU just didn't play him. They just didn't play him all that much. Let's see. Sewell at 5, Marshall in round 2 would be the best scenario for the Bengals. I don't even know if the Bengals have a second-round pick. I'm guessing they do. I don't know. Let's see. Let me see. Okay, so this Lamar Jackson. Yeah, Lamar Jackson's not an elite thrower of the football. Probably out of all the teams in the AFC North, he's probably the worst thrower, but that doesn't mean he's a bad thrower. The Bengals, the Ravens use a lot of assets on running back, getting J.K. Dobbins, and you got to have good tight ends in that system as well. But, would Terrace Marshall fit in well there? Maybe. I thought the Hollywood Brown pick was not good at the time. So, obviously, you guys know how we feel about Terrace Marshall. We think he's special. He's obviously a leader, a huge man of faith. But, you look back at Terrace Marshall, he did have some drops, but he was special last season. He took his game to the next level. So, I am very interested. Oh, bless you in Arkansas. Very nice, man. Let's see. You're back in Little Rock? Back in the Rock? Let's see. I know, Johnny, that would be a perfect fit. Perfect fit. Where Terrace Marshall goes to Green Bay, and he is a solid number 2 to Davante Adams. And in many ways, Terrace is very similar to Davante Adams. Obviously not as good as Davante Adams in basically anything, but he's really good in everything, kind of like Devontae Adams, if you get what I'm saying. So yeah, that would be a very good fit. So look, if you're deciding who's going to be the better player, is it going to be Jamar Chase or is it going to be Terrace Marshall? Who's going to have the better pro career? Well, if Jamar goes to the Lions, I think his career is over. I would not give him that offense is just going to be too bad. They're just going to double him and it's going to be over. Jared Goff is not a good quarterback. That's going to be bad. Now, the Lions, they have done a good job drafting offensive line. But I could say with pretty good certainty, if Terrace Marshall goes to the Green Bay Packers, he's going to be the best LSU rookie. If he fits in so well with what Green Bay's going to do. Let me see. That man Bless says, any chance we add any more past players or pro coaches to the staff? Well, I do know LSU did add an analyst today out of Northwestern. And, Blessed, they are hiring everyone. They're still hiring more recruiters. They're still hiring more analysts. I don't know if they will hire any big name player or coach to come back as an advisor. I know they got Eddie Kinnison back last season. And I know, if they called up Kevin Mawai or someone to say, look, we want you to be a mentor, and they'll pay him a little bit. Obviously, he'd do it. But, I don't know. You would think with LSU's, budget issues, they would go in the opposite route, that they would shrink their staffs. The exact opposite has happened. TAF, obviously is still, the big hire was Kim Mulkey, but they're still telling LSU football, look, we need to hire more people. We need to stay on top of everything. And that include hiring Mason Smith, the ace recruiter from Mississippi State. And that department is going to continue to grow. So we'll see. Tyler says, name your top 5 NFL wide receivers, not based on stats, strictly on the player's ability. Well, stats, plays a role into that. But, obviously Devontae Adams would probably be my number 1, or Michael Thomas. Those are probably my top 2. Tyreek Hill, number 3. And then after that, I don't know, Allen Robinson, 4. This is just off the top of my head. And then number 5, I'll go Hopkins. Why not? But obviously, I'm leaving a lot of interesting guys off. Like, who's to say Odell doesn't come back to where he is healthy? And then, you still have Mike Evans, who has had a 1,000-yard season each and every year that he played. And then, of course, you still have Julio Jones, who might get traded. So, obviously that's just off the top of my head. I know I'm missing someone. Arguably, if I had to pick a receiver out of anyone in the NFL, I wouldn't actually pick a receiver. I would actually pick a tight end. I'll take Kelsey or Kittle over, anyone, because, that you get a blocker out of it as well as a guy that, is a beast as a receiver. So we'll see. What's up, George? Go Tigers. Let's see. If the Lions pick Jamar, could he pull an Elway or Eli? Bo Jackson play baseball for a year instead of going to the Bucks? Yeah, I guess he could, Big Al. But, man, I just hope it doesn't happen. So we don't even have to deal with it, okay? So don't have to deal with it. It's just a disaster situation. It's a disaster. Look, you changed shirts. You didn't even put the new shirt on.
I'm trying to set the table up.
Oh. You didn't put the new shirt on to model it. Let's see. Johnny, I think probably 3rd or 4th round for Kerry Vincent. I like Kerry a lot with that speed. I'll tell you this. I understand why Kerry Vincent opted out last season. And I know it was a shock to a lot of people, but Kerry Vincent, I would say, look, my film is getting better than I did at the end of last season. And I don't know what happened, but from the game all the way until the end of the season, Kerry Vincent was probably LSU's best defensive back. I mean, he was really good towards the end of that season. And obviously, he's going to be faster than every wide receiver he'll face, not named Tyreek Hill. He's got elite speed. So we'll see. Fulton was second round to the Titans, yeah. I think Marshall goes first round to the Ravens. I know he's getting mocked there a lot. Once again, the best spot for Terrace would be to the Green Bay Packers. That would be such a nice fit for him. With Mr. Discount Double Check, Mr. Jeopardy host. Let's see. Still waiting on that first super chat. Or buy a shirt. Let me put the link right here. First ever merch. There you go. Boom. Mr. GOAT. Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, he's up there. He's up there. It's crazy whenever you go look at Aaron Rodgers' interceptions number. It's so wild that he's had such few interceptions. Cade wants to know what's your occupation? Okay, you're looking at it, believe it or not. This is it right here. My lovely girlfriend was supposed to put it on, but she's currently cooking swordfish, so she does not want this. And we've already gotten a few of you getting in on the shirts, the Power Hour LSU shirts. I know, Kane. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it is, Kane. Cade's probably trying to get some identity theft. So my real occupation, Cade, if you have to know, is that I am, and I didn't want to share this, but I am an astronaut. That is what I do. I'm currently located in Florida, outside the NASA facility. So yeah, there you go. Who would be a great quarterback for the New Orleans Saints? Well, Cade was just curious. Well, it was weird because that's all you were saying. I thought you were one of these trolls. We haven't had a troll in a while, like a bad troll. Big Al was like, I knew it. I knew you were an astronaut. This is a side story, but like there is a astronaut prodigy. Her name's Alyssa something. I don't remember, but she was the daughter of one of my first TV bosses, and she is a prodigy. It was so strange. And I remember, meeting her for the first time, and this was like 10 years ago. And, like every kid, there's like the cliche, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be an astronaut. She actually said that, and it's actually, coming true. I think she'll be on like the first mission to Mars. I want to be an astronaut. That scared me. I'm a Bitcoin miner. Kerry Vincent definitely should go late first round like Clyde. Dude is really good. I'm a rocket scientist. I actually believe Amacat because he's actually like smart, unlike me. I don't know anything about anything. Sell me a 3080. Let's see. Yeah, asking for audits. I know, Kane. I'm leaving myself open for some identity theft. Can I share the story with you? I wanted to share this on the live stream tonight. So, I found myself talking to you, Jay. I appreciate. Okay, so we go to Johnny, our first super chat of the night. Everyone, thank John, and John will be a recipient of a LSU card. I'm still going through my collection, John. I'm going to send you a good one. Let's see. We have not talked about Tyler Shelvin. So this is from Johnny. Every draft board I've seen has Tyler Shelvin as the third best defensive tackle. Staying in shape was very smart and probably made him some money. Let's go. Okay, let's talk about Tyler Shelvin. So the first thing is, Tyler Shelvin 10 years ago would have been a first-round pick. He would have been a top 10 pick. Kind of like Vita Vea and Danny Shelton over the past decade. Even Michael Brockers was selected high because now he's not like a traditional nose tackle like Tyler Shelvin. Brockers was drafted high because he was a run stopper. But when I put it here,
you want me to put it on?
Put it on and model it. And here's the funny thing about Tyler Shelvin is he would have been the Vince Wilfork pick. He would have been a first-round pick. But now that these general managers are like analytically, Tremaine, she is a pescatarian. So, John, to your question, what's funny is all these GMs are analytically sound now, and they know that before you stop the run, the first thing you need to do is stop the pass. So why would we draft a first-round pick and use it on a nose tackle when we should be using more valuable assets on guys that can actually get after the passer, which is something Tyler Shelvin doesn't do.
It's so big.
I know. All right, y'all ready for and Johnny, I'll finish this thing. All right, here comes Hey, modeling the new shirt. Look at that. How does it feel, babe?
It does feel good.
A good, soft, high-quality shirt. Look at that. There you go. Let's go. Josh says, hey, Tremaine asked if you are a pescatarian.
I am.
Tremaine's on top of it. He's in Vegas.
Am. Hey, Uncle Cliff.
What's up, Cliff? So once again, go to order your shirts. It's in the chat. Josh says, wow. Hey, Josh. So there you go. You want one of these shirts. It goes nice with the swordfish. Oh, Bo doesn't know the news. Oh no, Bo. Oh God, I hate for you to say. No, Bo Bug went to puppy heaven last week. I know you're being nice.
It'll be a week tomorrow.
We've done a few videos, Bo, if you want to see our booger tributes on that thing. And we thank you, Bo, for reaching out about that. I know you're super. I've gotten to know Bo a little bit, but I know you're super busy in what you do, and you couldn't see it. So it was funny because on our live chat on Saturday, had a 3-minute discussion about dogs, and everybody was sharing dog stories or emotional dog stories, and it was great. It was absolutely great. So thank you so much, Bo. And yeah, Boog is in a better place. Thank you so much. So to answer Johnny's question as far as nose tackles are Bye, Cliff. We'll see you. So the thing is, Tyler Shelvin got a little unlucky, kind of like Leonard Fournette. Yeah, that's it. So once again, if you want a shirt, you want it. Model not included. Well, pay. Hey, someone just supported your campaign. There you go. I love that. We should have. That is so great. See, babe, look at you. That's all you got to do is put a Put a beautiful one. I knew. Thank you, Paris. Congratulations.
Oh, I love her.
Paris is a great. Paris, one time, us three, we're getting together and we're going to get velvet taco. Paris is the velvet.
Our margarita.
Yeah, and our margaritas, Paris. We're going after it. Paris is the velvet taco president on here. Now, if Velvet Taco ever sponsored this, we would go nuts. Velvet Taco needs to be a national brand.
No.
Egyptian cotton. What is that?
I know what it is.
Leonard, I know you're getting a shirt. We don't even have to worry about Leonard. Leonard's getting 10 shirts. He's getting it for his family. That's what you need. You need your whole family rocking shirts. So, look. What's funny is there is a really good reporter. His name is Arif Hassan, and he works for The Athletic. She should be displaying the swordfish. I haven't
started it yet because it only takes like 10 minutes. I mean, it's quick.
It's quick? Oh, Paris got to pass Spanish. Yeah, I struggle. Yeah, Paris, get through that Spanish. It's tough. Spanish is so tough.
Oh, look at Tremaine. You guys are so nice.
Tremaine, I'm definitely going to hit you up when we go to Vegas.
Absolutely.
Marcellus, what's good? What's good, Mar? I haven't seen Marcellus in a while. What's up, man? Johnny's a Rotolo's president. Rotolo's top 10 restaurant for me, period. Rotolo's is so elite. It's so elite. Best deep dish pizza. Best calzones is at Rotolo's. Now, you know, their pizzas overall are good, but their deep dish pizzas, God dog it. That's good, Marcellus. You've been working. I like that. Johnny's over Rotolo's?
Well, I don't eat pizza. So
yeah, she doesn't eat pizza. I don't know. I like Johnny's. I haven't had Johnny's in a while. I need to become a millionaire and fast. Well, Marcellus, one thing you can do to become a millionaire really fast is hold your own pro day. Marcellus, you need to go knock on the LSU indoor practice facility. And if you ran a 4.28 40-yard dash, Marcellus, you would definitely make yourself a millionaire. Okay, but that's all you got to do, Marcellus. You just got to run a 4.2 40-yard dash. Or go to the LSU baseball facility and throw a 95-mile-per-hour fastball. That is the fastest way you can become a millionaire. Now, it's not that hard, Marcellus. It's not that hard. You can do it. You can do it. I believe in you. Marcellus is like, I throw gas. I throw gas. I'm Anthony Renato. I'm Lewis Coleman. I'm Jaden Hill. I'm sharing like the few LSU baseball players that I know. Tacos or jambalaya, Amacat? That's kind of a weird like combo. Like Amacat is deciding between tacos or jambalaya. By the way, Paris, it is your super chat, so pick whatever question you want, Paris, and we'll go straight to it. That is crazy. Fleur-de-lis pizza. Hit stick. I miss fleur-de-lis. And fleur-de-lis was actually right around the corner from where my TV station was in Baton Rouge, KPBN. And I ate fleur-de-lis all the time. I miss it. And it is elite. And I understand, you know, fleur-de-lis, I know some people say it's overrated, and it's just, no, fleur-de-lis is an iconic Baton Rouge establishment. I'm trending holiday. Huh? Cuban Pond. My day's been fantastic. Let's see. The perfect Saints quarterback. Who would be a good quarterback for the New Orleans Saints? Tom Brady. No, I'm just kidding. You know, if Justin Fields keeps falling, take him. I saw the Chris draft where he had Justin Fields falling all the way to number 32. Does he know something we don't know about? If Justin Fields falls to you outside the top 10, it is stupid to not select him. And the reason why it's stupid to not select him is if you get him on a rookie deal, even if he's just good, you gotta take him. Gotta take him. Fields will never make it to 32. That's what I was saying, Bo. But I saw that and I was like, what in the world is that? So once again, Paris, it is still your super chat. And Johnny, to answer, and this is my final comment on the Tyler Shelvin thing. So I was sharing earlier about how he was a decade off. So a decade ago, he would have been a top 10 pick because old school NFL minds valued a run stuffing defensive tackle, which because you got to defend the pass and you don't want to use first round draft capital on someone that doesn't help you throw the football or prevent the other team from throwing. And out of any position you could pick, a run stuffing nose tackle is the one guy who can't help you in that department. But this is what's fascinating. Arif Hassan of The Athletic did an aggregate big board. Okay, so for those that don't know, a big board is just the list of how NFL teams rank the players, not based on need, but just their raw ability. So what's happened over the years is that media organizations have started creating their own big boards. And what was fascinating was Terrace Marshall on an aggregate big board. So of the 300 most popular big boards in all of media, Arif Hassan found that Terrace Marshall on aggregate was the 37th ranked player on big boards, where Tyler Shelvin was the 100th ranked player. But the difference is Tyler Shelvin was the number one ranked nose tackle against the run, whereas Terrace Marshall was the 7th ranked wide receiver. So what does that mean? Well, that means if a team wants a nose tackle that can stop the run in a 3-4, Tyler Shelvin will be the first one off the board. And I'm glad he lost the weight. I'm glad he's in a better shape. And on top of that, Tyler Shelvin, he shared this in an interview with Cody Worsham. He said he was really contemplating opting out last season. So it's very interesting. Let's see. Let's go to Paris here. And thanks again, Paris, for your support. If the D-line is as good as we say it's going to be, should the O-line benefit from that? Iron sharpens iron. So that's a good question, Paris. And we discussed this, as you mentioned earlier. What makes this really fascinating, and this is my biggest concern about the LSU offensive line, is that the number one most important thing that you need to do as an offensive lineman is not defend a defensive line's pass rushing move. That is not the number one thing you need to do in pass protection. So in other words, the number one thing you need to be able to do is not block the guy in front of you. Now, with defensive coordinators such as Zach Arnett at Mississippi State and defensive coordinators, throughout the SEC, the one thing that they would rather have is a free blitzer. A free blitzer will always be better as a pass rusher than a defensive lineman having to get around an offensive lineman. And the one thing LSU's offensive line could not do last season was pick up blitzes. They were not good at it at all. Texas A&M was really bad. Mississippi State was really bad. And Missouri was really bad. Those three games, out of all of them, were by far the worst. So if that is the case, well, LSU needs to practice that. They need to, once a week, go through different blitz patterns, different blitzes that you're going to see. Understand the different responsibilities, which obviously is we got to make sure the A gap are going to allow a blitzer to come unblocked. It's going to be coming off the edge. But last season, far too often, guys ran right up the middle, whether it was safeties or linebackers, untouched. And that is a recipe for disaster because a guy running full speed ahead untouched who is faster than a defensive lineman is a lot more likely to bring down a quarterback than a defensive lineman fighting off a block. So, Pierce, that is my biggest concern. You make a great point. The LSU offensive line, they are getting better going up against B.J. Ojolari, who will play in the NFL, Ollie Gay, who will make an NFL roster as well, and Mason Smith, of course, a future NFLer, and so on, Neil Farrell and whoever else. But the biggest concern to me is something that we couldn't even see in the spring game. Can we prevent those A-gap blitzers from running unblocked? And, I remember Nick Bolton just burying Myles Brennan at the end of the game against Missouri. And knowing what we know now, Myles Brennan, of course, took that bad hit in the first quarter, then got slammed soon after that. And knowing what we know now, how injured he was, he kept getting destroyed in that game. And that's where, that becomes an issue. Oh, my goodness. Oh. So we'll see what happens there. So, yeah, that is a good point, though, Paris, because if we think the LSU defensive line is as good as we think they are, well, they're better than basically every defensive line in the country. They're pretty deep, and they're pretty daggum good. Oh, we're getting into this Ohio State thing. Is there a conspiracy where the Saints only draft Ohio State guys and no LSU guys? PHL fantasy football? We'll see about that, Johnny. We'll see about that. Johnny, I got to mail your card. What's cool, Johnny, is you're not going to know what card I'm going to send you. I'm going to find you something good. Let's see. All right, guys, we're about an hour and 13 into it. I'm going to let you guys choose the next topic. Mark Emmert has been extended to 2025. What's up, Jared? Everyone welcome Jared to the chat. I haven't seen you in a while, Jared. Everyone welcome in Jared. You spelled Jared so interesting. Gerid. I don't think I've ever seen that, Jared. But we also have a Bo in here. We also have a Reed. We also have Big Al. Big Al wants to talk running backs. Okay. Let's go to Jared first. Okay. Been working. It's good. We haven't done recruiting in a while. What's up, TJ? What's up, Bayou Bengal? So yeah, let's do some rapid fire here. Let's go to Michael. He's a super chatter. All right. Do you see a new on-campus arena soon? Tear down the PMAX. Oh, Michael, I'm glad you brought that up. This is something I think about, and it does involve football. All right. So let's talk money. All right. So who here wants to talk money in the business of college sports? Because I'm going to, because that is what Michael talked about. So Mark Emmert just got extended, so he won't be the president of LSU. So Mark Emmert obviously has a lot of things that are going to change with college sports, with the NIL and different things that are coming up. So the first thing you have to realize, and this is, an outside the box topic that, might disinterest some of you, but the college football playoff is going to expand. You're already seeing some tweets regarding that very thing. it's going to expand quicker than we probably think because of the loss of revenue in college football from teams because fans couldn't go to games. So with that lost money, the college football playoff economics show that you got to have more playoff games to make more money. The New Year's Six, along with the college football playoff, made over $400 million in 2019 compared to all the other bowl games combined, which only made $99 million. So in other words, if you have more college football playoff games, you're going to make more money, which will then go to the schools. So with TAF, obviously there is more money. There is more private. With TAF, obviously there is more money. There is more private to give these coaches in schools and facilities. That's not going to stop. And I guess you could say redistribute some of the money to other causes at LSU. But the bottom line is these private boosters only care about athletics, and they're going to put money towards athletics. So that leads us to what's going to happen next with LSU, because next thing you know, they have a $28 million locker room, which obviously is state of the art and was a huge success. And then, LSU is adding staffers. They have a private chef. They're adding more people into the operation. So what does that mean exactly? Well, if Kim Mulkey's coming over, and one thing I've read about Kim Mulkey, and this goes back to her days at Baylor, her coaching style is more than just coaching. She's big on lifestyle. She's big on the little things like facilities and the environment. I can easily see a scenario where LSU reevaluates how the PMAC is going to look, because I like the PMAC. Obviously, as an LSU fan, I like it, but it's not close to some of these other basketball arenas. It's obviously not Rupp. It'll never be Rupp, but you go to some of these other basketball arenas. One basketball arena I love is Bud Walton in Fayetteville. It is amazing. And I remember stepping foot in that arena for the first time, and then I was like, goodness gracious, really? And obviously Arkansas, they're more serious about basketball, allegedly, than LSU for good reason. But yeah, I can easily see a scenario where the PMAC gets some renovations and there is a change in how the basketball operations to look. Kim is not coming from Baylor, which was her program. It's not just home. You kept hearing that. It's not just home. No. With Kim Mulkey, you're getting someone that's about to get introduced by Michael Jordan into the Basketball Hall of Fame. This is the biggest moment of her life coming up here in a few weeks. Someone that's about to have Michael Jordan introduce her in the Hall of Fame is going to want more than just money and the ability to go back home. She's going to want to have power. So she's going to push for the PMAC and other things to be better. So hopefully that answers your question, Michael, because LSU is going to find more ways to get more money involved to push its basketball program forward. Big Al, thank you for the super chat. Let me know, Gal, what you want to talk about. You wanted to talk about running backs. Okay, so, Big Al, this is actually a really good question here, because what's fascinating about the running back position, and I like these super chats coming in, baby. I get a second win when the super chats start coming. Let's go. Follow the money. So here's what's fascinating, Big Al, is you look at the running back position, and the more I watched the LSU offense this past weekend, the more I said to myself, Armani Goodwin would be a great fit in the LSU offense. You look at the LSU offense and they run a shotgun. Well, the one running back in high school who ran the most out of shotgun out of any of these guys is Armani Goodwin, because his high school, which, by the way, played at the highest classification in Alabama, 7A, and Alabama is a pretty good state for high school football. they ran a lot out of shotgun, and a lot of the cuts. I showed this in the film study. I don't know if you saw it, Big Al, for this past weekend. This Armani Goodwin is a perfect fit for a shotgun offense, and the reason why is because this guy has elite speed. Not only does he have elite speed, he can get out quick. And what I mean by that is this guy runs a sub 11 100-meter dash. So to run a sub 11 100-meter dash, you got to be really fast. Like the elites of the elites, the Usain Bolts of the world run sub 10. So obviously, he's not that fast, but to run sub 11 in the 100-meter dash, you have to have the ability to get at top speed quicker than most. So not only is Armani Goodwin fast, he can plant and go. So, the more I watched that offense, I was like, what, this guy could fit in right away. Now, he had a serious knee injury his junior year of high school, but, he would fit in well. He would fit in really well. And I also like Corey Kiner. I love me some Corey Kiner. I love his story. I love the Mr. Ohio in football. I love that he was Kevin Falk's first, running back recruit that he got to commit. So there's an intrinsic value to his connection to the LSU football program. So, I think these freshman running backs can really push for playing time. Now, they're not going to know the offense. They weren't early enrollees and so on and so on. But the question you have to ask yourself when it comes to the running back position, is TDP and John Emery so talented to where their experience automatically outweighs the abilities of those that are less experienced? And the answer to that is no. So we'll see. I like TDP. I like Emery. I think they could be great SEC backs. But I'm open to it, and I know Ed Orgeron's also open to it. Oh, Big Al, so you're very familiar with – you probably know more about Armani Goodwin than I do. He's special. He's really special. Kenny, they hired an analyst. The name slips my mind. I know he's from Northwestern, I believe. So let me know. Got to pay for premium. There you go. Follow the money. Richmond, what's good? Paris wants to talk recruiting. She did super chat earlier, so we'll talk some LSU recruiting once again. If you're new to the chat, we do have new merch. The link is in the pinned description, and our model is currently producing our swordfish feast. Let me see something really quickly. Johnny says John Emery is special. I hope so. I really do. So, Big Al, hopefully that answers your question about the running back. Now, I do want to bring outside the box idea about the running backs, and I'm glad you super chatted this, Big Al. And then we'll get into the Paris' question about recruiting. Oh, man. Something clicked, and sometimes things click when you don't intend them to. So part of the reason why I loved JoJo Earle coming out of high school was that JoJo Earle played a lot of running back, and he took a lot of snaps from the quarterback position at Aledo High School. So the one thing I really liked about JoJo Earle is that he was, and this was pre-Jake Peets who preaches this, he is really a positionless football player. I know he's only 5'11", and he ended up going to Alabama, but he could play anywhere. And that was one of the things I loved him. He could play outside receiver, he could play slot, he could play quarterback, he could play running back, and be an effective player. And the reason why I like that is I think we will see over the next couple of years is we'll see more slot wide receivers play running back. And the reason why we will see that is because as the run game begins to phase itself out. Now, don't get it twisted. Teams are still going to run the football. But what's going to happen is your ability to catch the football out of the backfield will be just as valuable of an asset to the offense as running, as being the running back. So let me ask you this question. Which was Clyde Edwards-Helaire? What was his more valuable asset? Was he a more valuable running back, or was he a more valuable receiver out of the backfield? And the answer to that is probably slightly more valuable as a running back, but he is not the same player if he can't catch the football out of the backfield. So what happened at the end of the spring game and what happened during spring is that all these LSU running backs got hurt. Cavante Bradford got hurt. TDP's been hurt. John Henry's recovering from surgery. Josh Williams can't stay healthy. Corin Norman can't stay healthy. So LSU had to go to Coy Moore to play running back, right? Well, did you notice LSU's 2-minute drill at the end of spring against the first team defense? You notice who the star of that drive was. Obviously, Garrett Nussmeier at quarterback, but it was Coy Moore as a receiver out of the backfield. The connections to Coy were crisp, they were easy, and that was between a wide receiver who had a bad drop issue last season and a quarterback who had only been there 15 days. So, what I think what would be very interesting is maybe have Coy Moore be a third down situational back or a third down back who is the running back out of the backfield in a 2-minute drill. Because we saw last season, John Emery and TDP were very inconsistent as receivers. So that is something I think would be very interesting. And that's partially how I see JoJo Earl at the next level. And I think Alabama is going to be really creative with them. And, you know, I think Coy Moore could potentially be that as well. Now, he's not a JoJo type of playmaker, but he's really good. Coy could be a really good receiver out of the backfield. So, you know, maybe LSU stumbled onto something there, and they should sincerely think about it. So, let's see. So, Big Al, I'm glad you brought that up. And Carvis comes out of nowhere. I love it, Carvis. I love it. Emery and TDP, the next Chubb and Sony Michel. And by the way, Carvis, the merch just dropped. It's in the pinned post on the page. So, Paris wants to talk about Harold Perkins. And I would love to talk about Harold Perkins. So, first thing about Harold Perkins, 5-star linebacker, class of 2022. LSU right now for the class of 2022, 0 linebackers committed. So obviously it's a position of need. Also, something else you've seen out of the LSU linebackers is that, well, they've had to go to the transfer portal to address this position. So obviously Ed Orgeron would like to get a recruit that would come in at linebacker. Now, obviously they have Bug Strong and they got Greg Penn, so they're kind of young at that position. But linebacker is a glaring need on this team. You know, some of you do like Josh White and Antoine Zampa. I do too. But still, you need to get a linebacker in this class at some point. And obviously, Harold Perkins is arguably the best linebacker in the country. So, class of 2022, he's currently committed to he's committed towards Texas A&M. He is at Houston. However, the way I understand it is Harold Perkins does have ties to New Orleans, Louisiana. So LSU is obviously hot on the trail. This is one of those situations where, you know, Harold Perkins is a 5-star linebacker. I forget the young man who ended up going to Tennessee, who LSU was also a finalist, or I think he ended up going to Florida. I don't remember. But yeah, you know, will Harold Perkins commit to LSU? I don't know. I don't know. I hope so. Just something to keep in mind. Carter make a food OnlyFans? That sounds strange. That is right. Mike Jones is from Tennessee. And then, you think about that Tennessee area. I mean, you want to talk recruiting, you think about Walter Nolan. Oh, so Johnny, I do not have recruiting news, but I wanted to share this. It's not recruiting news, but this never happens to me because I'm not an insider. Okay, like I don't actually talk to recruits. But yesterday, I got to have a 1-hour conversation with a 2022 recruit, and it was very interesting. And what's up, Eric? What's up, Fueled by Haters? What's good? I got and Johnny, this was so fascinating because obviously, I'm in my 30s and I don't talk to high schoolers at all. And I got to talk to this young man. And what was very fascinating to me was this guy was so much smarter than me as a high schooler. And what I think has happened with the internet is, obviously, when you're 17 and 18, you're still immature and you're still going to do stupid things or whatever. And you guys have kids. You might disagree with me on this, but every time I talk to a high schooler now, they're so much more culturally smart than what I was in high school. And I don't know if that's the internet. I don't know what it is, but this guy, as a high school defensive back, and I think of myself as someone that knows a decent amount about football. He knew who Champ Bailey was. He knew who Dick Night Train Lane was. He studies these guys, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. And he was telling me all these interesting things, and he was telling me about how difficult it is to be a 7-on-7 recruit, and he was getting ready to. His 7-on-7 team was supposed to play the Louisiana Bootleggers 7-on-7 team, and he didn't get a chance to. I think weather or something like that canceled the game. But he was talking to me about Jacoby Matthews and going up against, Terrence Welsh and all these different things. And it's crazy, like how sharp these recruits are now. Now, this was the first recruit I've talked to in forever. And I was just blown away. I talked to him for an hour. And, it just seems to me when it comes to listening to interviews, some of these guys are like smarter than what I was coming out of college after. So I was just so blown away. And he was telling me like what Jacoby Matthews was like and going up against these guys. And what I think is going to happen is, with the NIL and different things that are coming up, is these kids are going to, I could see high schoolers starting to get really good merch deals and really good sponsored posts on Instagram and all this stuff. And they understand it. They understand their power. They understand all these different things now because, it's where we are. Our youth is so much sharper now. And I was just blown away. And he and I were talking about Julio Jones versus Patrick Peterson. And I was like, you were 9 or whatever your age was when these two matched up. And he was like, I watched them on YouTube and I would watch Derek Stingley versus Devonta Smith. And I was like, okay, we don't have to talk about that matchup, but he's a corner and, I'm not going to say who he is, but I was just blown away. I really was. I was like, oh my goodness, this is so interesting. Big Al, it was so cool. And he was talking about how, he interacts with coaches, and I'll keep him anonymous because he also told me some stuff that, he said to keep between he and I. But it was so random. And the way it worked was he's the son of a friend of mine. And I didn't know of a friend of mine. And I didn't know. I know, Eric, you better get a shirt, Eric. Yeah, Paris. Denver Harris would be such. And here's the thing. If you're Denver Harris, you say, look, where's a place I can go where I could play a lot as a true freshman? Well, LSU. You know, we're going to talk about Damaris McGee all that much, but LSU will play him. Tyrann Mathieu played a lot as a true freshman. Jalen Mills, Patrick Peterson, and then obviously most recently our guys Sting and Ricks. JJ, what it do? Let's see. JJ, I've been missing you, man. Let's get Haley and I were talking about JJ the other day. Let's see. I'm so excited about Jacoby Matthews on a different level. And it could just be that news came at when I was like really sad, but I just did not think it was going to happen that quick. I really didn't. He's special. He's really good. So that was cool that guy knew, the kid that I talked to yesterday, I knew who Jacoby Matthews was. And he also thought that the YouTube stuff was really cool. Now, obviously, he had never heard of me because, you know, we have our own little world. I know, fueled by haters. Don't get me started. That, man, that I know it hurt Pat too. So, Paris brought up Denver Harris. That would be very nice. That would be very nice. So that is crazy though, because, you know, if Denver Harris does commit, you know, you still have Kamari Wilson out there, another 5-star safety. Then what would happen though? This would be the downside of, and there's not really a downside of Denver Harris commits, but what would happen is the 2022 crop, and this is something that not a lot of people are mentioning. The 2022 crop has a lot of good 3-star defensive backs. So it has like the Jordan Allens of the world and the Lorenzo DeBozes of the world and so on and so on. So these 3-star defensive backs, oftentimes they have a chip on their shoulder. They say, look, LSU didn't want me. And I'm going to prove all of them wrong. And oftentimes LSU just doesn't have room to take them. So you look in recent history, you look at a lot of these 3-star defensive backs that don't go to LSU end up going to other schools and they end up being great. You know, now, full disclosure, LSU did want Ardarius Washington. He decided to go to TCU at the last second, but Ardarius Washington, Joe Fuchsia, Israel Mukamu at South Carolina. So that's the thing. You know, I think Jordan Allen's really good. I'd offer Jordan Allen. But then again, you only have so many slots. And if Denver Harris decides he wants to come, you better keep a slot open for that guy. You do not say no to that guy. So we'll see. Did you see that Patrick Peterson is wearing number 7? I am pretty fired up about that. Purple and gold number 7. I might get that jersey. But then again, it's the Vikings. I don't know if I could do it. Really, JJ? That's not good in your line of work, for work being busy. I understand, though. I understand. Oh, yes, it is not Tyler. There you go. I will gladly put that down. Let's put this. What's up, DBU7? But here's what's funny, DBU7. You are shirtless in your photo. So I got the perfect answer for you right here. DBU7, here's an opportunity for you to buy a shirt for your shirtless body. Now, I'm not going to lie, DBU7. You have, you're ripped. You're shredded. Okay? If I was shredded, I probably wouldn't wear a shirt either. In fact, I don't like wearing shirts. To run, and I still run some. I would run shirtless, and I don't care how chubby and hairy I was. But DBU7, I'm sure at some point you have to wear a shirt. So this is a good opportunity for you, DBU7, to not only get a shirt that you can wear to an LSU game. Let me tell Haley to come back in, our model. She's in there listening to her Peter Mon. I'm texting her right now. My model is needed. She's in the middle of cooking up some swordfish, Eric. I can hear her phone dinging. Let's see. How are you, DBU7? You hadn't been commenting lately. I know a lot of you are busy. Corey, what's good? Is it a bold prediction to think the defense will be better than the offense? You're strictly from our offensive line play. That is not a bold prediction at all. We need better offensive line play. Bottom line. So our model will be in here, or you can click that link. There's no way Logan Paul is going to fight Floyd Mayweather. There's no way. The model is not included. For the right price. I'm kidding. Joke. Hey, witness Daryl, your story last week, your dog really inspired me, and it really helped us. We were talking about you the other day, Daryl, me and Haley, and your comments about your dog stories were so comforting. Thank you so much. Haley said, "What? She's in the middle cooking swordfish." Eric is right here. Okay. And Eric joined the live chat late, and he wants to see, I don't know if Eric wants to see the shirt or the model. And Eric, I know you're happily, you changed the shirt.
I'm not cooking in that shirt.
Oh, she can't. Yeah, she can't cook in the shirt. All right, well, let's go.
Oh, you're aggravating.
She put her Karl Malone shirt on. Let's see. So I could show you the shirt.
Bug, where's number 7?
All right. There we go.
There you go. Can I go back to cooking so I don't burn it?
if you burn the swordfish, because she's been working hard on this swordfish, Eric. If you burn the swordfish, just because you wanted to see the shirt in the flesh, Eric, you got to buy 10 of these shirts. There you go. Right there. Kane, hey. Haley will be interested. She needs a vacation. You got to pay for her plane ticket. There you go. You guys know you want it. This is hot off the press. Okay. So Tyler with your super chat wants to ask a question about Thaddeus Moss joining the Bengals. Okay. Well, we need to figure out if Thaddeus Moss is fully healthy, because obviously, he had an injury coming into the NFL. Now, was it a little shocking that Thaddeus Moss did not get drafted? It was a little shocking because, you look at his tape, obviously he set the record for LSU receptions for a tight end in a season. He had 47 catches, and obviously, his two biggest games was that famous Alabama catch with his 2 feet on the pylon, and then the 2 touchdowns against Clemson. And, he played his best when it mattered the most. He also had a really good blocking game against Texas A&M. So obviously, the lineage, the name, the bloodlines, and back with Joe Burrow, this will be a good opportunity for Thaddeus Moss, which, by the way, we did just give out that Thaddeus Moss autographed rookie card. Johnny, your card will be shipped this week in Rai. I know he can't be here on Tuesdays. Tyler, the second part of your question, do I think he made the catch against Alabama? Now, my honest response to that is I don't know. But what I tend to do is when it comes to a difficult catch, and this is how I feel referees should do it, if it is a 50-50 decision whether or not they made a catch or they didn't make a catch, the bottom line is I side with the offensive player. I always side with the offensive player. Whereas if there is a defensive player who is making an amazing interception, I'm going to side with the defensive player. So in other words, if it's 50-50 deciding whether or not a player made the catch, I'm going to always side with the person who is catching or intercepting the pass. So even if that was an Alabama tight end, if he made the incredible effort to at least make it that close to where it's indecisive, I'm always going to side with the player. So there you go. Bailey's a photo of her action up to this point. She said she's making a new side dish tonight. Ooh. Got some sauteed spinach with tomatoes in here tonight, guys. Y'all want to see? Johnny, you are getting your card. Aiden, what's good? I actually do agree with you, and I did a video on that very thing earlier today. All right. So y'all want to see it? Y'all want to see it, Brent? Matthias, thank you so much. I love my barber. Shout out to Jason Allen's barbershop. All right. So this is the spinach concoction. She's making up, trying to make sure the light doesn't get in it. There you go. We like some good sauteed vegetables. Look at that. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. I'll put some Cholula on this. Read? Hey, I'll do that. Boom. Right there. Sauteed vegetables. So I'm trying to decide. I want to do a full week of just wide receiver content. And that week might be next week. I think next week I want it to be wide receivers week on the channel, where we answer questions such as read, talk about which one was become roommate. I think it's going to be Dre Jenkins. I think it should be Dre Jenkins. I think he should be the number 2 wide receiver. And then the number 3 guy, I'm open to anyone. But I do think Dre is better than John Trey. I think he's better than Coy. Now it's just how I feel. I think the first thing with Dre Jenkins I like a lot is his air yards per attempt is really high. It was the highest on the team. He was the second highest, I believe, yards per catch he was first in yards per catch on the team, minimum 20 receptions, I believe. One of the best when it comes to drop percentage, so he has reliable hands. So yeah, high football IQ, good Tiger. I like Dre Jenkins, I really do. Quinn coming in a little drunk. I like it. The good thing, Quinn, is if you're watching this at a bar, make sure you designate a driver. This would be an interesting thing, though, if Quinn was at the Bulldog in Baton Rouge and he's got a pint and he's just watching and he's like, I'm drunk, but I'm watching my guy on the live stream. So, Quinn, I hate to tell people to make drunk purchases, but Quinn, I have a deal for you. You could be the first ever Quinn to drunk purchase this right here. Okay, Quinn? If you purchase this is a great drunk purchase for you, Quinn. I'm telling you. If you purchase this right now, you will move past Trey Quinn and Quinn Johnson as the greatest Quinn in LSU history. Right here, Quinn. Just click that link up there and grab 5 of them, Quinn. Grab them for all your drinking buddies and go out to the Bulldog and just go up to ladies and say, look, we're the Power Hour LSU crew. And then those ladies are going to be like, oh my God, the Power Hour LSU crew is here. And marry them. Oh, you're in Stark? Oh, man. Quinn, here you go. I'm giving you the link right here, Quinn. This is a perfect time to drunk purchase 5 of these, Quinn. Just buy 5. Just go for it. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Quinn. And you guys, let's be honest. You've been out with some of your friends before, and they get a little tossed, and they're happy, and you're like, "Hey, Jake, you buy shots for everyone. Shots for everyone." I love it. I haven't even gotten a drink in me yet. Oh, Quinn, you're a freshman? Oh, well, Quinn, I actually take all of that back. I did not know you were a freshman. In fact, I'm not that familiar with you. Do not drink. If you are not of 21 years of age, do not drink, okay? And take all of that back. I don't want any legalities coming back on me, okay? I don't want any of that, Quinn. You should not be drinking. In fact, you should be reading your Bible right now, Quinn. You should be not doing drinking as a freshman. What kind of freshman would do that? The spinach and tomatoes were great. Babe, I might get sued. Okay? Because
Why?
Because Quinn is drinking as a freshman in college and I egged him on. Quinn, drink plenty of water right now. Do not get in a vehicle, Quinn. Don't say to yourself, okay, I got to go drive and go get me some Hungry Howies. Don't do it. Don't do it. Order delivery. Stay at home. Drink plenty of water. Drink plenty of fluids. Make sure you have some Pedialyte delivered to your house tomorrow. Okay, Quinn? It's not worth it. Do not get behind the wheel. I know, Quinn. I know. I'm just covering my bases. Because I don't want Google to demonetize me for saying, oh, well, we can't run ads. Oh, man. You ever notice this, Micah? I just listened, Carter. My girlfriend said I should try it. What, the swordfish or the shirts? DBU7 got himself a girlfriend. I'm telling you, DBU7, you are shirtless in your photo. This would be the best shirt for you and your girlfriend right here. This is it. This is it. Who doesn't want this shirt? Tyler, I've not had that Howie's Cajun crust. But you know what's funny, Mike? The funny thing about Hungry Howie's is no one ever talks about that pizza as being the best pizza. But everyone talks about Hungry Howie's as being the best drunk pizza. Always. When people think drunk pizza, you think, I think Hungry Howie's. Sold. Okay, so DBU7 is about to buy a shirt. I love it. And Quinn, if you're a freshman, save your money and enjoy your life. Okay. Speaking of DBU, do we love Pat Pete being the first to switch numbers? Yeah, I'm happy he did. You know, the good thing though about Patrick Peterson switching numbers is that he was also switching teams. I do find it interesting though that Justin Jefferson, who is, you know, in his Twitter account, the number 2 is in his Twitter handle. It would make a lot of marketing sense for Justin Jefferson to go to a single-digit number, the purple and gold. It was the number that he wore in college, but Justin Jefferson said he is sticking with number 18. So I think that was interesting. Tyrann Mathieu was also asked, are you going to switch to number 7? I think the Chiefs kicker right now is number 7 anyway. Tyrann Mathieu's not switching numbers. And I think Stephon Diggs made a good point because he wore number 1 in college, I believe. And he said, look, people spent their hard-earned money to buy number 14 jerseys. I'm not going to be the first to switch. I'm not going to do it. And I think that's a pretty noble thing to do. So, you know, I'm fine with Patrick Peterson going to number 7. Obviously, you know, personally, I think he should only wear number 7. But he is going to a new team, and it makes a lot of sense for him. Oh, you worked there during the Les Miles season? Better than Domino's and Pizza Hut. Wow. That's bold. Let's see. Matthias, I'll get to that in just a second. Let me see. And DBU7, thank you for your purchase of these shirts. And Quinn, I love you, man. I'm with you. I really do want to be a positive influence on the youth. And I'm being serious. I know I always make a joke about stuff like this, but I want to be a positive influence on everyone that watches our channel. Got that. Quinn, how many fingers am I holding up? Let me know. So Matthias, Big Mac, where have you been, Big Mac? I'm glad you're back, man. How much for the shirt? It is $29. All you got to do is click that link. Right there. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. No, Big Al. I'll share a Bert Jones story. I actually know Bert. His hunting buddy is a good friend of mine. Ironically, now I don't hunt, but Bert's a really nice guy. He's really nice. He is the most low key person I've ever met, though. He's really low key. Let's see. So yeah, Matthias, I did a video on this earlier today as far as the offensive line. I think more than one guy needs to be shuffled in and out of that lineup. I'll do this. If the LSU offensive line struggles against UCLA, you got to start thinking about moving some guys in and out. I shared this offensive line earlier today, and since some of you weren't with us earlier, I just burped again. I'm thinking about swordfish. Let me ask you this. Would you guys like this offensive line? Left tackle, Dare Rosenthal, Ed Ingram, left guard, center, Liam Shanahan, right guard, Anthony Bradford, and right tackle, Cam Wire. I would not mind that offensive line. Or put Austin Dekulus at right guard and put Cam Wire at right tackle. I just dropped my water. Big Mac, you're right. LaTerrence Welsh looks like the real freaking deal. He really does. So, Quinn, let me ask you this. Why do we have to have Austin Dekulus on the field? Obviously I like him. He was a part of the greatest LSU offense of all time. But, he struggles against speed guys. And his spring game was okay. We'll put it that way. So, obviously, I like Dekulus. I really do. He's the elder statesman. He was the biggest player from the 2019 team that is going to be on the 2021 team is Austin Dekulus. Everyone else basically is gone. And obviously staying. But that's pretty obvious. I would think about taking out Liam Shanahan and starting Charles Turner. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, Matthias, I don't know if I have enough information on that. But yeah, if Ed Orgeron thinks Anthony Bradford is that good, and he does think he's that good. I mean, he's brought his name up a few times. So we'll see what happens. Bada. Kari, what's good, man? I hadn't seen you in a minute either, Kari. Wait, Kari, you were the guy that reminded me of Ray Darius Jones. I'll never forget that. I love it. The WWL radio line in bed when I was a kid. I had an LSU uniform with the number 7 on it. Burt Jones, yeah. What a great player. Daryl, this is interesting. Could Ricks move to the nickel on certain situations? Good news for you, Daryl, is we're doing a film study on that very exact thing. And I think I'll release it not tomorrow. I might do it tomorrow. Heck, I might just do it after I'm done devouring some swordfish. I might drop that Elias Ricks film study tomorrow. Why not? Why not? I want Elias Ricks to know that he's loved. Man, that dude, man, he's so freaking good. He's so freaking good. Some of you guys are talking Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence when we all know Justin Fields is the best quarterback in this class. That's good, Kari. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, listen to whenever you can. There you go. Rumor has it swordfish makes you do crazy things. DBU7. Donation for the shirt. Let's go. Okay, so I appreciate the super chat, but this is where you buy the shirt. Okay, I wish I could just send the shirts to you guys directly, but I don't. This is the link right here. So I appreciate the super chat, DBU7. If you want to get a shirt, click that link. But yeah, I'm not allowed to ship the shirts out. The bonfire people have to ship the shirts out, and they will ship them out if we sell 50 of them. You'll get the shirt eventually, no matter what. I don't know how it works. I don't. But they will ship out. Fields is QB1. I agree, Tyler. I do. Kari, of course, I remember that. Checking me on my Ray Darius Jones knowledge. I don't wear shirts at spring. There you go. That's the attitude. Like I said earlier, DB7, I remember growing up, I wish I could be shredded. And until I realized that I was never going to be shredded because I love food so much and I'm chubby. That's right, Matthias. Sun's out, guns out. Yeah. I have no muscle. Exactly, Johnny. And Chris Sims is crazy accurate when it comes to picking quarterbacks. Crazy accurate. He called the Lamar Jackson thing. He's crazy accurate. Now, I don't know how he has Justin Fields number 32, but if he calls that, that will be wild. And no, Tyler, Chris Sims has been really good at the quarterback thing. You know, I think he had Josh Allen rated higher than most too. Might as well put a cutoff. Exactly, Quinn. Harry Hobbit. Intangibles. I know, Tyler. It's pretty wild. Chris Sims. Chris Sims is wild. He's wild. Well, all right, guys. Yeah, DBU7 Super Chat is still open, so I'm going to hang out for a little bit longer. Once again, if you super chat, we'll keep it going. Haley does not care when we get to 2 hours and the super chats keep flowing in. So DBU7, you get to pick the topic. You I know we're 2 hours in. I talked about Kim Mulkey just a little bit earlier. I've gotten a lot of questions about her, and it's an exciting time if you're an LSU hoops fan, especially if you're an LSU women's hoops fan. I'm really sad that those Sylvia Fowles teams weren't able to actually, win the Final Four. So that would be nice, obviously, to win the national championship. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with the Mulkey era. It's also going to be interesting to see what LSU does with Paul Manieri. And that's all I got to say about other LSU sports, because I like to keep it LSU football. It could get a little exhausting keeping up with all the LSU sports. And, I have a lot of respect for Dee Bro and Dennis Schaefer and all these guys and gals. But yeah, it's really hard to keep up with all of it. And I have a lot of respect for the Shays and the Brooks and all those guys that cover all the sports. It's wild. Let's see. My cousin. There you go. Celebrating a birthday. Very nice. What's up, Creek? I was wondering where you were tonight, man. Let's go to DBU7. Do you think I was reading, making sure I didn't get any Venmos or Cash Apps here. Let's see. Chinese tonight for you, Johnny? Go for it. There you go, Josh. I appreciate the merch. Josh, I better see you repping that shirt. I agree. Creek. And, I just don't think Myles can survive behind that whole line. I just don't. Let's see. Do you think Dwight will take Cordell's starting spot before the season's end? So DBU7, and your name is DBU7. It's interesting. Cordell Flott was, pretty good as a true freshman. But last season was such a step back for him that, sometimes defensive backs that get burned a lot, they can't recover. But what I want to include with Cordell Flott is it was shocking how much LSU left him out to dry. He had such a rough game against Auburn. But after that game, they still didn't change things up. They let him get cooked against Alabama. Why in the world was he ever on Devonta Smith? Well, I mean, what kind of, even Ed Orgeron, and I know he said he stood out of the way but even then, as a head coach, you go to your defensive coordinator before the game and say, look, Cordell can play, but we got to put him on Slade Bolden and Mechie and Billingsley. We can't put him on SEC wide receiver of all time statistically. With Cordell Flott, I don't know if Dwight McGlothern is a nickel corner because it is a different position. So, we were talking about this earlier, and I'm doing some film study on this. Maybe it would be better to put Eli Ricks inside and let Dwight McGlothern play outside instead of the other corner. It depends if that's something Eli Ricks would be open to doing. That I'd be interested in. Jay Ward was really good playing the nickel corner as well. Hey, babe.
You want me to make you a paneer in case you don't like the spinach? You got 4. I'll make it. It takes 2 minutes. Are you about done?
Yeah, DBU7 did a super chat and we'll wrap it up. We'll do paneer.
Huh?
Yeah, we'll put some paneer.
I'm getting ready. I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired.
Haley's going to tell me to wrap it up. What's up, Jared? Not the first time. What's up, Jared? Welcome. So DBU7, you say you believe Flott's days are numbered. I think he could have a bounce back year based on what we saw in 2019. And Cordell Flott is well liked by everyone in the locker room. He's liked by Stingley and Ward and all those guys. So, yeah, I think Cordell Flott deserves another opportunity to prove himself. But I was just shocked last season when Cordell Flott continued to struggle and they never went to anyone else. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, that changes next season. Yeah, Johnny, the defensive line played a lot better. I also like the changes that Durante Jones made with the defensive line with the pre-snap stems on 2nd and 10 and 2nd and 9. The LSU defensive line would stem around. And what that means is pre-snap, they would go from one position to another. And I love that because it gives the offensive line more stuff to think about as far as blocking assignments are concerned. So there you go. Well, all right, guys. This was a fun live chat. Once again, I will drop it right here. We do have new shirts. Okay? Click that link and you will get yourself a shirt. And of course, you could rep Power Hour LSU everywhere you go. It's paneer time. And it's time for the swordfish. And I'll have a swordfish report on our video tomorrow. Okay? Carter, who do you think will be the next commitment? I'm going to go with Emory Jones. It is Power Hour LSU. Boom! Last night, huh? Good luck on your finals, Quinn. And we'll see you soon. Boom.